Hello, hi, and welcome again to the Terminal Podcast, where in the end, it's all about the numbers. I'm your host, 3 out of 7 ain't bad, and we are broadcasting high above Civic Center Station tonight. You know what? We're gonna dig deep into the latest gossip to fill up a few minutes. How's that sound, Chris? Scott? No?
I'm only talking about Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
Well, if that's not the latest gossip, then I don't know what is. Is that not the latest dish? If this is, I mean, like, because suddenly we're all high schoolers again, right? We're talking about these two people that went off and kissed, and they got caught on film and everything like that. And now it no, is it, I mean, I, honestly, like Mike Vrabel, who is Mike Vrabel? Who are we talking about? Because is it because
No
he
idea.
went, he took, he's the coach of the Super Bowl losers, right? The AFC champions. The Patriots
Yes.
made the Super Bowl, but they lost. So he's the disciple of Belichick. He was on one of the Tom Brady teams and everything like that, right?
Wait, can you take
Yep.
like 4 or 5 steps back? Because I have
Okay.
literally
Oh,
no fucking clue what
oh,
you wrote about in that email.
OMG. Have you not heard the gossip?
I have not been spilling any tea. I went to a birthday party at a bowling alley yesterday. So like I'm
Chris?
not, you know what I mean? They didn't have it on
No,
the
no.
screen.
Oh, no,
They
that's
also
fine.
didn't have
No, this
screens.
has been going on
It's,
for like 2 weeks.
I was going to say, it's been going on for, but it's that you
What
don't
is
know,
You don't know
that you
anything.
don't
You don't know
know.
anything about Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
no, I don't know those names. Who are
Oh,
they?
that's beautiful. That's absolutely
Oh
beautiful. Chris,
Jesus!
can you give a shortened version of the events?
So Mike Vrabel's the coach of the Patriots. Used to be the coach of the Titans. Played in the NFL for a while.
Okay.
Um, is married. Has 2 kids. Diana Rossini is an NFL insider. Worked for ESPN for a while. Now works for the Athletic. Married with a couple of kids. And like 3 weeks ago or whatever, there were pictures that came out of the two of them at like some exclusive resort in Sedona, like some adults only resort of
Okay.
them like frolicking in the hot tub and kissing and having breakfast. And then they both came out on social media and were like, oh no, we just happened to run into each other there. And Diana Rossini was like, yeah, I was there with my girlfriends on a hiking trip. And then like as
I
more
hadn't
stuff
heard
went
that
on,
side.
yeah, that was her thing. And people were like, all right, well, just show us a picture of you and your girlfriends. Like,
Yeah.
what group of girls got together for a hiking trip and never taken a picture?
Yeah.
Um, and so she resigned her job at the Athletic, and people are saying,
Mm.
well, they're two consenting adults, blah, blah, blah. But she peddles herself as an NFL insider, and now they've gone back and like found all this stuff with her and Vrabel, where like all of a sudden, when he was the coach of the Titans, they were like, the Titans are trading AJ Brown, and no one else had that. And all of a sudden, the Titans traded AJ Brown or whatever.
Mm.
So she resigned her job at the Athletic. Again, they both claim there was nothing there. Everyone's stupid. We literally just saw each other at this resort. And then he came out last week and said like he's had to have tough conversations with his family and he's got to go to counseling. But
Yeah.
if they weren't doing anything wrong, I don't know why he had to have tough conversations with his
'Cause
family.
you need to have tough conversations.
I have tough conversations a lot, but yeah, I get it.
You need to understand
So,
what
Okay.
happens
All
and there
right,
were more
cool.
mommies and
there were more
daddies.
pictures that came out from 6 years ago of them like making out at a bar in New York City.
Yeah.
And these people, these fucking internet people are the best, Scott. They go, someone went back and found the day after the photos of them in 2020 making out at a bar.
Mhm.
She wrote on her Twitter, she's like, oh man, what a day yesterday. Like,
Yeah. This generation, and I'm frightened for my daughter and the graduating classes of the people over at Georgia Tech who you can see, and just all this everything is because everything they're doing is documented.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be any kind of, oh no, we've seen you made this mistake. We've got photographic evidence. You posted about like you just said, there's a trail, there's a line of evidence that's just going to get thrown out anytime anybody does anything wrong, which
Yeah,
is
that's
yeah.
I think
And I'm here for all of it. And the other thing,
because you're lucky
the
enough,
other thing
because
is
everything that happened
Diana,
with you is hearsay and
correct.
conjecture.
No, but
Nobody's backing that up.
Diana
Go ahead.
Rossini, the one thing about Diana Rossini is she's a known whore.
Mm.
She had a relationship with the assistant GM of the Redskins a couple of years ago when she was in high school at Old Tapan High School, not far from where we're two of us are sitting right now. She was sleeping with her teacher slash track coach. So much so that 3 weeks after her graduation, he was on the family vacation with her family.
Cool. What you didn't
Okay,
take?
Yeah.
so
Wait, you didn't
clearly,
take your track coach on vacation?
Yeah.
all right, so
I didn't.
clearly you had way more info about this whole story than I do
Well,
because like Scott,
I've known that
no,
about her. I've known that about her since she became
Jesus.
part of the NFL zeitgeist because I know 50 people that went to high school with her.
And another thing.
Clearly,
And the coach
seriously.
who she was the coach who she was sleeping with was the principal at the school I first started coaching basketball at when I moved back to New Jersey. So I know the guy too.
Yeah. So I said all that because yeah, no, that's still like Scott that you knew nothing. I knew about like the like Chris had sent me a couple of those photos, so I knew like that.
So honestly, I didn't. I and
Just
Martin
so
leading
shocked. Go
kind
ahead.
of doubling back to what we were talking about at the beginning of this thing.
Hmm.
I skimmed your email, so when I looked at it, I was like, I don't know those names. Maybe it's those WNBA ladies that are in love or whatever. I don't know. Like that was my thing.
I was this
That's
close to
even
doing
better
another
that
spit
that's what
take.
you thought it was.
What are you talking about?
I thought that was a
WNBA.
story. I thought like that was a
Wait,
Oh,
story
I
wait.
that
see. I see.
Do
Hmm?
you know what he's did you wait, Martin, do you know what Scott's talking about?
because I
Not at
don't know the
all.
names.
Not at all.
So the girl that was drafted number one overall out of UConn, AZ Fudd,
Uh-huh.
she her and Paige Beckers, who played at UConn 2 years ago and
Yeah.
was the number one pick.
Yeah.
Right. They've been dating for over a year.
Okay.
And Paige Bucher's team had the number one pick and they drafted AZ Fudd, who a lot of people didn't think was going to be the number one pick. But their
But
best player is dating the girl, so she was the number one pick.
but she is part of the you so she like starred at UConn, right? So it's not like she's a
Yeah.
bum.
She just wasn't expected to be the number one pick. She was
But
expected to be a top five pick, but not the number one pick. But when your girlfriend's the best player on the team that's picking number one,
or
the
you're the
team
best
picks you
player,
number one.
or you're the best player on the team in the league where there's like six people who you everybody knows their names, and you're one of those
Right.
six. Could you say draft that
Right.
player
That's
gets
it. Yeah. Right.
drafted.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And
All
they
right.
say draft my girlfriend, and they were like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. At least her girlfriend isn't a bum. It's not like
Right,
draft,
right. She didn't ask him to draft Bronny James with the number one
exactly.
overall
It's
pick.
something along those lines. It's like, with the number one overall pick. Yeah. Yeah, it was, she's got something to it. All right, so where was I? So because I'm yeah. So
I love the fact
how
that I'm
long?
breaking this news to both of you, like
I
different
know,
stories.
I love getting the actual details because as I explained to Martin, like I pretty much only like see things passing. Like I'm almost as you're either like
So
you're
that I'm
either
your guy.
like I only see things basically the way you see stuff on Route 17. Like that's the amount of time I
Right.
get if they oh there's a new store, like
For those who
That's
don't know,
great.
Route
So now this
17.
podcast makes my life better. That I can just come and break news to you guys because I read all of this garbage and I love it.
perfect. Thank
Oh,
you.
so I will say, so then we'll just stick on to Mr. Cini. And I
No,
was
can we
going to
talk about
say,
real sports and not this
no,
garbage?
I wasn't saying that because I did want to say it was my thought was that that kind of position is going to be even more difficult to try and get back to because of her gender, full stop. But with now this information enlightening in my eyes and everything like that, I don't think she can get back to anything except doing what she was doing. It makes
No,
no
not
difference.
as like an insider
But
level.
that is the question. That's really what I was curious about because the other thing that I read recently is this whole article about how uh, Adrian Wojciechowski, who had Woj bombs, who was the whole thing on the
Yeah.
NBA Insider, he left being an NBA insider and to go back to St. Bonaventures and become their GM, their general manager, so to speak, with NIL and all that stuff, because that's essentially what all these schools are doing now, or trying
Yeah.
to do in some cases. Uh, Woj, because we're not on a first name basis. He's trying to do that at St. Bonaventures, but the old set, this article is basically saying, isn't on board with some of the things he's doing, and he got rid of this old coach who had been there for like 19 years and hadn't really
Yeah.
done anything. Yeah, and Scott, I know I'm informing you about all this. And do you remember Wojciechowski as an NBA insider?
I know you think you're informing me, but I'm not really paying attention to what you're talking about. I don't
Good for you.
know. No, I'm sorry. Yes, I remember him.
But um what do you do after that position? I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, because there's everybody seems to have these insider positions, like, like who I guess in baseball it would be like Tim Kirkshin's, an insider. Ken Rosenthal's an insider. What do you do after that? Like, I don't know what Rossini's going to be able to do. I mean, like, I guess
Well, that's her, but
yeah,
she cooked her own goose. Woj
yeah.
left on his own. I mean, Tim
But if
Kirsten's
Woj
68
didn't,
years old and been doing it for 45 years. That's what he does.
Uh, they could do a podcast.
I mean,
He
yeah,
does a
there's a
podcast with his
podcast,
son. That's
There you
very
go.
podcast
entertaining.
and book. Yeah,
There you go.
Well, yeah, Peter Yamin still does it. Like,
is he still?
Even our best,
yeah, he's
some of our best entertainers are just reduced to doing a podcast nowadays. Like like this is kind of.
Mhm.
like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, what do you do after that? Like, you just retire
It
or you
was
just keep doing
well,
it? I mean, Chris
it
Mortensen did it till the day he died.
it was more once again about the fact that I thought that this was sad to say a redeemable person who would be trying to look to get back into that previous career track. You see
Oh,
what I'm
well, if you
saying?
fuck up, I
Like
don't know
if,
what you do. Don't fuck up. Like, I'll just tell you,
but
keep Mike Vrabel's
like,
cock out
and
of your ass.
okay, so
Like,
so the point of all
You're the
this was
man.
because Ed, who's been on this podcast, uh, posted recently how if Craig Curtin, I guess he's on fan. If Craig Carton
Carton, yeah,
can
yeah,
gamble
WFAN,
away
yeah.
it can gamble away charity money and return to a career on WFAN and Fox Sports, because why couldn't Diana Rossini?
Right.
But the next part I was going to ask is, so should I know who Craig Carton is since I can't say his
No,
name?
not if you're
He
not a New
is
York. Not if you're not a New York person. He was a Philly sports radio guy and then a New York sports radio guy. But long
okay.
after you were gone from here. But the answer to Ed's question is Diana Rossini's credibility comes into question.
Yeah.
Craig Carton is just an entertainment sports radio host with no insider information. He doesn't have to have credibility. And the other thing is, Craig Carton, and I don't like him personally, like as a host. I don't find him entertaining. But the raw facts are he makes money for the radio station and always has.
Sure.
So yeah, let's be honest. I mean, we can go through the list.
The point of it is to make money. Yeah, no.
Like, I don't think, like, the Athletic that Diana Rossini worked for, I don't think they lost any subscribers because Diana Rossini resigned her position from the Athletic.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's not a, but they're about making money now too. Well, I mean, obviously they always were, but it's less about what it was previously and everything, because it's more just about, it's the New York Times purchased it, so it's now about, it's now about the same way that in the Washington Post you get information about EPL and what's happening in the Champions League and everything like that, more than you get Washington Nationals. On the Athletic, you get stuff.
So to completely derail this podcast. Speaking of WFAN hosts, former NFL quarterback Boomer Esiason has done their morning show ever since Don Imus. They threw him off the air. And Boomer Esiason's a giant hockey fan, loves hockey, big hockey guy. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he can jam hockey into any conversation. And they always just make fun of him and they play these drops like, nobody cares about hockey, Boomer. You are the Boomer Esiason of this podcast because somehow you dropped in the EPL, which nobody listening to this podcast gives a shit about.
Yeah, no, neither do I.
At all.
That was sort of the point.
Right.
That was kind of the point of it. But I can actually now turn
somehow you can drop soccer into that.
Oh no, and I'm gonna swing it to soccer now because I was talking about I did teach you guys about the best of everybody. We're 26, so we've gone through 25 years into the 21st century, so to speak, or into the 25th year. Is that right? It's to 2000 is still in the 19th
Oh,
century,
whatever. Who
the
cares?
20th
But
century.
please, that discussion. Talk about useless discussions on
This
planet Earth.
podcast, don't you know this podcast is all about the numbers?
It is all about the numbers.
It's a good point. That's a
That's
great
fine.
point, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. We're 25 years in, regardless. The point is, and speaking of soccer, one of the memories that I think when I think of biggest sports memories in my lifetime is sadly the cover of Sports Illustrated with Mia Hamm shaking her fist because they've got, excellent because they won in 99 in the Women's World Cup, which was the biggest deal for no apparent reason. And
Wasn't the cover of Sports Illustrated Brandy Chastain with her shirt off?
I was hoping to see if you were going to catch that or not, but yes, it was Brandy Chastain. It's going to say it is in my notes, but it's not like anybody's going to make a difference. Yeah, clenched hands and sports bra on display because that became a whole thing. And it was a whole thing loud enough that it was around for it felt like 18 months. It was around that moment, the lead up to the World Cup actually coming in, and you're supposed to care about Women's World Cup soccer and everything like that, and then the event, and then the USA winning, and then that whole thing that then lasted another 8 to 10. It was burnt in. So I feel like that is one of, when I think back on major sports moments in my lifetime, that's one of them. Sadly, so to speak. Chris, you got it. Scott, you got anyone you can think of off the top of your head? Just the first top 5 top things.
In this century, you're saying?
No, in our lifetime.
Oh.
So you've got to, that's the other thing. So I'll ask this question. So if I say in our lifetime, we're all 77, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you think does that count? Do you believe in miracles? Because that happened in the 80s.
I was 3.5 years old.
Okay, but it is within our lifetime.
Yeah, but I don't remember it. I don't have a visceral memory of it.
But you remember seeing it, just that clip.
When I was 10 years after it happened, it was probably when I first saw the clip. And you saw a conscious memory of it.
You saw it. I agree with you, but you saw it at 10 and 11 and 12. And it just kept coming. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about it as more of
a but wave. I don't consider that my life. I don't consider that, as a Yankee fan, I don't consider that, the Yankees have won 7 championships in my lifetime because they won in 77 and 78. I see. Where I was fucking drooling on myself.
I'm having trouble coming up with a universal one. There's definitely personal ones, there's I think, Chris, we all have.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, they're always going to be personal.
Well, they're definitely the Giants Bills missed field goal.
Okay.
That moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For a lot of us was as big, that's one of the bigger, or even bigger than, bigger would probably be the Giants beating the Pats. It might be a bigger one than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are your moments, or you're just saying
these are personal because I can't think of
major. They're all personal. There's no
that's no
other way to do it.
So, I mean, obviously, as soon as I think it was once Tony Womack was on third base, I was losing it. That was I watched that. We only have one inning. As a Diamondbacks fan, we have one inning that we can go back to and watch as a historical.
Yeah, but it is a great inning.
Yeah,
it is a great inning to beat Rivera. It is.
So we have that one thing. I don't know. What do you got? 27 of those things plus a dozen more.
The fact that you're missing one personal thing that involves both of us is very insulting to me.
Oh, the Rangers. Yeah, the Rangers.
He drove over to my house after the Rangers won the cup.
Yeah. No, I was gonna reference that. I went on it. That was gonna be the second thing after the Giants. I was gonna reference that Rangers. Yeah. So
Second, don't worry about it.
Sorry.
Time I drove over to your house.
Do you have a
big excitement? Yeah, it's don't worry about it.
Honking.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What?
Chris, do you have any other ones that kind of jump out on for you?
You know what's really funny? I'm going to go against everything I ever say on this podcast because you were talking about the Brandy Chastain moment. Mm-hmm. What I think of is if I remember the moment or remember the day or remember and where I was. I know exactly where I was when that shootout happened, and I was watching it.
Okay. See that?
I was working for the TV station in Pennsylvania, and I had gotten back from filming a bunch of stuff, and the sports director was like, "Oh my god, the girls' game is going into overtime or whatever." So we were standing in
Hmm.
the sports office, and we watched the penalty shootout before I had to go back out to do something. Like, so I have a visceral memory of standing there with Pat Principe watching the thing.
I love the personal name shout outs.
I'm
Um,
sure Pat Principe doesn't even remember who I am. Never
oh, of
mind that we
course not.
watched that together. Um,
But it is a but
But it
and
would be
I
some of the
mean,
same things. 86 Giants, I know where I was. 94 Rangers, um, 2007 Giants, definitely
are there any other ones? I
96
mean,
Yankees.
are there any ones
Uh,
like that that you would see that you remember it and there's like the Super Bowl ones are like that's a nationwide kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? There are people in Idaho who, might remember that the wide right kick or something along those lines. You know what I mean? But like some of those other ones, I guess the World Series ones, you could
do I have
say the
more
same
personal
thing
ones,
too.
is what you're
But
saying?
no, just more ones that could be personal, but
What?
also national. Like like everybody saw the not everybody, but you know what I mean. It was.
Well, listen, I mean, I'm
I'm
going back
thinking of.
next
Go ahead.
weekend. Next weekend, I'm going back to Columbia, South Carolina to celebrate a reunion of Coach Dave Odom. And, in 2005 and 2006, we won back to back NIT championships, which was very awesome that I was a part of. So
Okay,
that would be a personal one.
that's definitely
Yeah,
personal.
I have a completely ridiculous one, but
I love it.
and it's gonna spark. Hopefully, it will spark a conversation
It
where
will.
I'm on the other side of it because this is so ridiculous. But Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant.
100%.
Huh.
100%.
And now I want to
Awesome
back
moment.
that up with I was
Yeah,
out
no,
last
that's
week with my family having dinner, and ESPN was the only thing on at this particular restaurant, and they were treating fake sports like real sports, and it
I know
disgusted
it's
me.
unbelievable how they.
yeah, yeah.
Do you
It's
know what I'm
it's
talking about?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
because the
because
WrestleMania was on. Yeah,
They
and
were being
yes,
no, but
ESPN
because
covers it like it's
no,
a
but
real.
they were treating
Yeah,
it as if it was a
yeah.
sport and having analysts be like, "Well, the Undertaker." I was like, "Oh my God, what are you guys?"
well, we
Right.
all
It's like
watched
they're
we all watched
kayfabing the kayfabe.
Yes,
we all watched Bobby the Brain Heenan and Mean Gene Okerlund discussing. They had the analysis breakdown. I can remember them both sitting behind some sad little desk in a blue background studio. They're both sitting in front of a desk and they're analyzing what's going on.
that's completely different than on the channel that does that all day, every day for real sports, doing it under the guise of real sports.
Correct.
Yeah, that's not the
it's
same thing.
it's
For
how
one
it's not the
hour a
same
week, you
thing.
knew that on USA Network, these aren't cartoons. These are the guys pretending to wrestle. Like that's what you knew.
Wait a second. Hold on a sec. When you were watching cartoons, you were
Cartoon
that
Express.
young.
Cartoon Express. Let's get it. No, okay.
It's gonna say I thought it was the
Yeah.
no, I was gonna say, did you
The
not think it
Yogi
was real back
Yogi's.
then? That's what I was curious. Did you not when did you know that wrestling wasn't real?
Pretty early on. I didn't. I think like I think we knew what it was. Like we knew that the whole thing was fake, but it wasn't. Like I don't know. And like it's still. Wait, it's not real. What are we talking about? Still,
Yeah, I
As
would say
far as
13,
still real for
14.
me.
as
Damn.
far as
The wink wink
real.
nod nod part of wrestling. Yeah.
I don't know, second grade, I think I was caught wind of it. Like
Uh-uh.
maybe earlier. I think I was pretty like hip to it early on that like it
You
was a
were pretty
show and
hip
I
to it
really
in
enjoyed the show. I rooted for the bad
second,
guys.
third
I
grade,
was in
Chris.
on
He
the
was
thing. Like I was full on heel, you know? I'm sorry.
It
Talk
was
full
a
about
heel.
on heeled
Scott
in the
is a
back of the
heel.
bus. Sorry,
Scott
same
is a
time.
heel.
That was when I was a heel, my heel year.
yeah,
It was
basically.
it. Second grade. I was his heel
Great.
turn.
I
That was
Exactly.
the
turned
heel turn you.
turned heel. That's so true. It's all actually starting to piece
But
together.
that's gotta be Kane.
The thing is, whose music do we hear coming down the bus line?
He's gonna puke. Sorry.
I think about that all the time, just waiting to hear somebody's music. Yeah, whose music are we getting ready to hear? Did it? Yeah, whatever it is, just make a difference.
Mhm.
The music getting dropped. Yeah, it's a different time.
Sexy boy. That was my song.
He's giving that to Shawn Michaels. Yeah. Such a boy toy.
Good times, good times. Yeah, all right. So you were talking about the WrestleMania Slam, which I do think is on the list. It's definitely uh
It's an
because
iconic moment yeah.
In
in
quote
in
unquote sports.
no, but that's the whole thing. It's an iconic
Sports
moment,
entertainment.
period. It's an iconic moment, period, because
Sure.
Andre the Giant goes
It's
is
a
a
culturally
worldwide,
iconic
yeah,
moment.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. It's a Andre the Giant's a worldwide, and you know what? Does Shaquille O'Neal replace Andre the Giant as the giant that we all know and accept as a giant and we all love?
I
More than George Mirasan?
guess more so than My
Good
Giant was a
question.
fantastic film, but yeah, I guess he was the
I mean, because
victor.
there's
Written
always
basically about Andre the Giant.
essentially.
Who is our
When it
Andre
was
the
Billy
Giant?
Crystal wrote it after he hung out with Andre the
Oh,
Giant on the
that makes
set of The
sense.
Princess Bride.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I didn't know that. I didn't see that movie
Yeah,
either. Yeah.
because he said what happened was like he spent a lot of time talking with Andre, and like Andre would tell him all these things about how like he couldn't live a normal life because he was so big, like
Yeah,
he couldn't, you know. So he wrote the movie My Giant, kind of like as an ode to Andre.
makes sense. I thought they were gonna get Yinka Dare to do that movie, right? Wasn't he supposed to be in there?
Nah, that was Charles Yatingamunga who did that movie.
All right, that's all I got.
Okay. All right. I was just sitting there trying to think when you were talking all those memories, yeah, how many of them kind of fall on the Y2K dividing line and the Andre the Giant, the Giant Super Bowl ones, at least the first ones, those are on the 20th century side. It was more a question how many were
Yeah.
20th century, how many were 21st century kind of
Mhm.
thing. But yeah.
What is
All
it? Well,
right.
I mean, what are yours? What is the like? What's your
I
stand?
said one of them was the Brandy Chastain moment, like Chris said, that soccer shootout where suddenly this in country for no apparent reason suddenly cared about soccer.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it was just like, wait, what? This is happening now? And with 99,
yeah.
between that and Y2K, it was like things are going crazy in this country right now. Can I get
And
out safely?
Y2K.
You forget about Y2K. That's the whole thing. We're old
Yeah,
enough
and
to remember
Y2K. That's
Y2K.
it.
That was a crazy time. We all were afraid
I'm not sure
computers
we're
were
gonna.
going to what?
I'm still
Nobody
not
was
sure we're gonna.
afraid. They told us a year and a half before it was the biggest fake thing in the world that was not going to happen.
I've been
Really?
all my clocks have been fucked up since. I don't even know. That's why I'm always late for this thing.
I was given I was
Y2K.
given
Still
a
blaming Y2K. You haven't even started blaming COVID yet. You're still blaming Y2K for things.
I'm sorry, fellas. Y2K, man.
oh yeah, gosh. Man, I missed out on using that. We can use COVID. All right. We go back. All right, because I don't even want to think about it. I do want to get back to baseball, and the New York side of it is so the Mets suck, and tomorrow I'm going to be recording a Mets up pod with Josh
That's a
Safferty,
doubleheader
and
to the
yeah,
Colorado
we got
Rockies.
we got
Yeah.
swept by the Colorado Rockies,
At home by a
swept
team that
at
won
home,
62 games last year, whatever they won.
basically. Yeah. So that's a whole thing. So I'm not even gonna talk about that. The Yankees, as you guys are basically tied for the best record, right? Or right behind the Padres with Cincinnati. I mean, that was
Yeah, yeah,
going
yeah. We're
into today. I
close.
don't
We're
know what
number
it's
one in
like
the number
then.
one in the AL. Yeah, we
Hmm.
got Joey Cora, Alex Cora, some Cora. We got fired because we went in there and spanked them.
Oh, well, him getting fired. That's I never. Yeah, I'm. And I don't necessarily saying this like I want Mendy to keep his job, but Mendy because me and him are on a first name basis. Uh, but I don't know why getting rid of Carlos Mendoza or Alex Cora, how that's going to help. But with the Red Sox, they seem like they're blowing up everything. We're blowing up the coaching staff. We're getting rid of the GM,
Yeah,
right? They pretty much burned everything down to the roots.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't see that happening. But I guess
How did D
what
bags?
What
That's,
well
I,
no,
would- I
I was saving that. I'm saving that for a second. Just real quick. Anything, Chris? No, nothing good with you Yankees, all
Well,
happy.
we're playing well. We're
yeah.
playing well, but as I always love to point out, the miserable Yankee fan, like literally the line.
Hello?
Lost you. Yeah.
He
Literally
was
the what?
there. Literally
The wind-up was huge there
it
too.
was a big
Oh, look
wind
at
up.
Bruno just came out. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. See him?
See, yeah, I was gonna say you can see the if you're watching on
Yeah.
YouTube, there's a the
Uh,
flash
yeah.
of the lights. No, that's understandable
No,
because
I
it's
was
just
doing the song.
I was gonna say but I can hear the cheers and stuff like that. Like I'm assuming you could hear some of the rumbles that are going on, right?
No, I can't. I can see it, but and Chris is still
At
talking.
all.
Oh, there he is. We
Now you're
caught you.
here.
Yeah,
You
you
were
were cut
there
off
for
like
a
No, I
second.
said
seven.
even better. My point got. I don't even know where my point got cut off. I love it.
Scott
Right at the
had it right there. You had it, but I thought you were going to talk about how the Knicks came down here and were lucky to get out of Atlanta 2-2 to make it a three best of three
Relax.
series. No,
Lucky to get out of Atlanta. We smoked them last night. Relax.
I'm saying that for
The
the benefit
Diamondbacks. I want to hear
for the
about the D
benefit
bags. This is where
for
I
the
hear about the
benefit.
Diamondbacks every week.
I was going
He's
to.
ready
I
for
was.
Diamondback's corner.
Well,
Weekly
I was going to
Diamondbacks
say,
roundup.
I mean,
The
it's.
roundup.
I was cutting away for a moment to be say because the D-backs and the Padres, right? You guys went back to your roots
See,
to Mexico City for the latest MLB World Tour event,
see,
right? Have you
see,
been extension? Have you been watching what's happening
see,
over in Mexico?
see.
Is it fascinating that like is all right, the Diamondbacks are in Phoenix, right? That's where they're based out of.
See?
So Phoenix to the Mexico border is how it's is Phoenix to the Mexico border
Muy
is
close. No, they're very
isn't
close. It's
shorter. San
yeah,
Diego, I'm talking about the
they had the
difference
right two
between
teams. They
San
picked the right two
Diego,
teams, San
but
Diego and yeah.
Arizona is the first time that they're playing in this thing, whereas San Diego has done it three times.
Oh, whatever. We're
You
there.
don't know, but which is the point. Which I'm like curious that there isn't. I guess there's considered a more heavier influence of Mexican citizens in the fan base in San Diego
I
than there
would
is
think
in
so. I
Arizona.
would say yes to that. I don't know how many times they've been doing this series, and I don't know the history. I do
Since
know that what I do know is that from the two games that I watched, and like the little segments between the innings and stuff, like there's
Mhm.
a big fan base, there's a big Diamondbacks fan base in Mexico, and
Okay.
up and down our lineup are Spanish speaking players, and makes sense.
Here comes another song about
Exactly.
Mexico.
They played well. They have this thing like we've all seen many times where like uh someone will make an error and the pitcher will just spiral right after that instead like
Mm.
Yeah.
won't be able to like and that happened the other night. It was one of those things where like they should have got out of an inning for an easy double play ball and the guy botched it and got nothing out of it and then the inning just collapsed, you know?
Yeah.
So, but when we collapse like we give up like eight. Like we don't just give up like one. They love to like
Collapse,
well
collapse is
everybody bats.
big.
It's like T-ball rules. Like everybody's up. So they do that. But other than that, though, like I think they still really have only lost one series since I've been talking about them. They've got a bunch of guys that people don't know about, and I'm not going to mention their names here because I don't need people knowing them. But we got a guy that should be Player of the Week, and we'll see if he is or not. But he's yet to not get a hit. The guy's crushing it. So we got a bunch of other guys that are doing all right as well. So yeah, there's your Diamondbacks roundup.
All right. Quick curious question. You saw the Padres for a game or two because they've got a better,
Very good.
well, at least going today, had a better record than the Dodgers,
They're very
right?
good. They got a lot of bats. They got a really
Yeah.
good closer. That closer's ridiculous.
Oh, he's ridiculous. Yeah. If they
Mason
have a lead,
Miller,
forget it. It's
Mason
over.
Miller. Yeah.
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 What did you guys see him? Is it just is it fastball slider? Is it essentially
He's an
everything he has, but
overpowering. He's one of these overpowering guys that's not missing. And he's
okay.
just
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's just getting it, you know? Like I don't know what to say, but he's been
No, that's the
that's it.
answer.
Yeah.
He's getting it. All right.
Yeah.
Well.
But we didn't have to deal with them today. We scored a bunch of runs and didn't have to deal with them. So we only had to face those guys twice. We got out of the series, splitting it. They can get through the next month. They should have some pitchers coming back, and we'll see. We'll see. Like I've said, we've said a couple weeks in a row, they don't need to win a division. They don't even need to finish in second.
Just
So,
got to get in the dance.
Right,
Got to
third
get in the
place can
dance.
still get third place in that division. Yeah.
yeah,
All
third
right.
place in that division is better than a bunch of teams. Yeah.
All right. Well, we shall close. All Bruno's getting the show started. With a numerical trivia question. This is the third time for the Padres playing across the border in the World Tour event in Mexico City. This is the first time, as I said, for the Diamondbacks at Estadio Alfredo Hargelu or AU. I pronounced that wrong. All the games were
See,
played in Mexico City, which is at an elevated place. So, approximately how many feet of elevation, due to its location, were those games played at in Mexico City? That is the number I'm looking for. Since Scott, you said you were listening to all of them talking, everything like that.
I
Uh,
didn't catch
well, you
that
can give the
particular.
first number at the very least, and then Chris, if you want to go Price is Right rules on it, you're Bill, because you said you just said you watched all the
Well,
games.
I'll tell you
You
what I
saw.
did see. I'll tell you what I did see. Here's what I can say. I don't know.
Okay.
My geography is very very poor.
Hmm.
I don't know enough about Mexico City. I apologize to the people of Mexico. I don't know enough about it. What I did see looked lovely.
Is this a
It
concession
looked
speech?
it looked very nice. The consent. Well, it was very very crowded. They had over 20,000, I think, squeezed in there, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was 30. I don't know the exact number.
20,000.
I know we're all
Yeah.
about the numbers. I know we're all about the
Trump
numbers.
speech ever right now. It was very
What?
crowded. There was lots of people. It was crowded. I don't know much
Yeah,
about
it's
it, but it was big. There was a lot of people.
20,000.
So many people. Beautiful
a lot of
people.
people. Best series ever.
How many feet of
Well, here's what I
elevation
did
due to
notice. The
its
one thing I was going to
location?
get to is in the background. You can see the mountains. It was a nice mountainscape. So I'm going to say with the mountains being accounted for, I
Uh-huh.
still have no idea what things are above sea level. What am I going for? I'm going to say 337.
337. Chris,
337.
you got a number?
I could be a jerk and go 338
Oh, you
because
are
that's
a
an
jerk.
easy win.
Big
That's an
big
easy,
move.
but it's
It is.
something. No, Mexico City is something ridiculous, like 8 or 9,000 feet above sea level. It's like ludicrous.
Hmm.
So you're gonna go with ludicrous, which is the number,
Are you going to
Yeah,
or
I'm
throw
gonna
the
go with
three
eight.
three
I'm gonna go
eight
with 8,000.
8,337. Those are the numbers.
Yeah,
Thanks for listening.
first of all, your house is more than 338 feet above sea level. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it
Says
is.
who?
Thanks for listening. However, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, or Pandora, you can watch this digital edition and every video episode at youtube.com/ at terminal pod. It's the channel for all your questions. The answer to tonight's trivia question will be in the description. Chris, Scott, thank you very much. I'll be back soon enough with hopefully something better to put down. Take it easy down your life's highway and have a good evening.